Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Oh, there's 6 people watching us already on Facebook. Hi, I'm Richard V. I'm this Cammy. We were supposed to do this Twitch, RWC Twitch TV Legal Aid Clinic on Twitch, but for some reason we could not connect to Twitch, so we came to the next place that we know, which is Facebook. Maybe once we record this, it's going to be recorded here, Cammy, on Facebook, and then we will broadcast over there, stream some other time. Then maybe we can, at least people can watch. So how are you? I know you're studying your bar exams. Everything going fine, Cammy?
As fine as it can go, I guess. Yes, good.
Well, everyone's very cautious when it comes to the bar exam, but you know, give it a try. Don't give up. Never know.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining me here. I was hoping that this would be done in Twitch, and me being the old man, not very familiar with Twitch, we wanted someone who's more familiar with Twitch like you, so that we can actually ask and do a dialogue among us, and at the same time entertain questions. So everybody here, those who are watching, if you have any legal questions, just ask to me. Then I will try to address it. So Cammy, I know that you too have your own concerns of legal matters, and this is only half an hour. We just started at about 4:05, so we'll probably end by 4:35 or 4:40. You have some legal matters that you want to raise. Maybe we can just have a dialogue here. Maybe you can ask those questions here.
Yeah, sure. I think in esports, especially in Malaysia, where the structure it's not well formed yet, so there are a lot of legal issues arising out, especially when it comes to contractual issues. For example, when players sign contracts, because our players are usually very young people, like maybe 16 or 17. So when they sign a contract, they might not know what they're getting into, because contracts are usually pages long. So in that kind of situation where they are not sure, they have the contract and they've signed it, but then perhaps the organization that they signed the contract with tells them that, oh, you have to do this, you cannot do this. And then the player isn't very sure, because that's what the organization is saying. But what can that player do?
What can the player do? Yeah. That's a really practical question. Now, before I start, of course, ladies and gentlemen, I think people who log on here they were used to see this old man face. I'm Richard V from Richard V Chambers, and Cammy is in my view, she may be very humble and she will say no, but in my view, she's actually a very active participant in the esports community, either as a player, gamer, or even a cosplayer. So those in the esports community, if you look for Cammy's name, you probably know that she's the this is a matter of description, Cammy, the pretty girl with the red hair. I've seen you dressed up. It's like amazing. You are transformed into a different character as a cosplayer. Really amazing.
So that's a magic cosplay.
Yeah. So can you imagine old man like me become cosplayer? Malu lah.
Can also.
I definitely need new hair lah, botak already, So okay, question, contract. Now, the first issue that you raised there, Cammy, I would say is this. Actually, it's really about bargaining power. Unfortunately, contract is about bargaining power, and then when you draft the terms and condition of the contract, it reflects the bargaining power. So if someone like now, I'm not trying to cast aspersion on the vaccine creators, but the whole world is relying on the vaccine creator for COVID-19. So in a way, we are fortunate that there are not just one. There are 8, 10, 15, I read the last one, there are 8 companies doing the vaccine. So in a way, the Malaysian government have option to acquire which one, right? But they hold the bargaining power. So I can only imagine the terms and condition of the contract. So in esports, I have noticed for quite some time, Cammy, that the organizer, the main person who's so-called holding the money, the cash, that person actually commands a lot of say in the way the contract is run. And a lot of players, cosplayer like you, talents in esports,
Talent, yeah.
the talents, the technical people, they're reliant on this contract. And of course, I've also seen many major esports businesses who run their business very responsibly. They are very accountable the way they run. But there are, of course, some which is not so good. So what do you do then? So let's say Richard V, a young boy, go and knock the door. Say, sir, can I work for you, sir? I want to be I can talk a lot, so can I be a caster? Then they say, oh, you want to be caster? Okay, I pay you 10 ringgit. And then you're like, 10 ringgit? But then you realize everybody do the same thing. Then you're say cholo, I have to accept.
Oh yeah. You don't have a choice.
You have no choice. You just accept. So you realize, alamak, I got no bargaining power lah. So that's where your knowledge comes in. Know your law, know your area. That's why I like people like what Clement is doing. Clement Bleed, he's running education. He can do a lot of esports training skills. And that's where you need to acquire some knowledge on esports. Even Mervin is doing esports academy. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
People should invest in that. Go and learn some basic. And that's where Cammy, jokes aside, I hope people like you, my former lawyer Brian, you are the young upstarts. You can educate the esports and the streamers. Well, we're supposed to do in Twitch for the streamers community, right? To guide them on what are the legal things. So know your law. Now, what do you know? So what do you need to know? Without going into detail, because we only got half an hour, of course, you need to know the terms and condition, where you sign, what you sign, the payment issue. And there are many people out there who are willing to speak with you. And look at this, like this legal aid clinic. Join this kind of clinic, listen to people like Cammy and me. Maybe we can give you some ideas. And if you really need help, look for a lawyer. Not all lawyers are expensive. Some lawyers, like today, they do it pro bono, So, but if you do understand the basic rights, like when to sign, what to look for, what for terms, then at least you can negotiate, learn to negotiate, So, without going into too detail, I think the empowerment, Cammy, is actually knowledge of contract law. Some basic knowledge. They need to know the basics well.
We'll have to impart this kind of knowledge to really young players, like at the age of 14, 15.
I agree.
So we solve the problem of any contractual issues like from the beginning, instead of after there's a problem and then they have to, go and fight for it.
I totally agree. On a side note, Cammy, this is not a plug. This is not me trying to jolt ubat, but very charto for me. Just before the COVID, late 2019, early 2020, I had agreed with Oling and Kimberly to conduct a public legal aid clinic at their place in Jaya 33. At Jaya,
Oh, Better Arena.
Yeah, Better Arena. So, and I was also doing the same thing with Pantheon. We're going to go in Pantheon in Nilai, to do an open talk like this. And then we target parents.
Yeah, that's so good.
We're targeting parents, So already, I told Kimberly and Tiffany and Clement, no problem. It's pro bono. I just want to help. We come there for half an hour, 1 hour, then we go back, and in my style, Cammy said, I'm not there to sell my firm. I'm there to ask you all to learn law. Look for other lawyers. There are 20,000 lawyers in Malaysia. Surely somebody can help you.
Yes, that's very true.
That's what I want, the mentality. And then to answer your question, I think we need to reach the parents.
Yes.
Guide the parents, blah blah blah. Yeah, but good point. The 14-year-old point. Good point.
Yeah, parents, because they will be the ones making the decisions for really, really young players. Yes.
Correct. So anybody here, if you have any question, we were not supposed to be on Facebook. We were supposed to be on Twitch. But if you have any question, just pop in. I see Joshua. You say, hi, Joshua. Study hard. Make sure you pass. Take care of Cammy for me. Take care. Okay. Yeah, I need her to join the bar soon. Okay. Next question.
Okay. Right. There are always okay, yes, these are issues that I always hear about. So like freelancers, they might not have to enter into a official contract like the scenario that we were talking about just now. So perhaps they're just on WhatsApp, you know, and people are looking for a freelancer. They're looking for, let's say, they're looking for a moderator or someone to take care of the players during a tournament. Okay, so these are not the usual practice in the industry right now. Is that they won't ask you to sign a contract. They'll just hire you based on a through WhatsApp chat. They'll just add you into a group, then you come, you work, it's done, and then they pay you after that. So there's a big issue where these kind of freelancers, their pay gets really, really delayed. And it's not a big sum. So maybe for a day, they'll work for 200 ringgit or 100 ringgit. So in this kind of situation, if the pay keeps on delaying, what can they do to get that payment? Yeah.
Once again, very practical question. I've seen this problem over and over again, and I really like it that you raise it here so that people can hear it. And these kind of problems, Cammy, I must say this, must be repeated. That means just because you and I answer this question doesn't mean resolve forever. We must always talk about this for a long, long time. Okay, now number one. In a situation where there is no proper, contract and the exchange of emails and Telegram or WhatsApp, that will suffice. But I would advise the person who's receiving the contract, either a freelancer or a contractor or an agent, to learn to reply in a particular way. You can say something like, for example, again, the young Richard Wee goes to a company and says, sir, I'm very good at technical. I'm very good at StreamYard. I'm expert for StreamYard. Okay, Richard, we pay you 10 ringgit per hour. So, okay. So what Richard should do is send a text to the company, because everything is text, right? Said, dear company, thank you for engaging me for RM 10 ringgit per hour, starting on 15th of January 2022 for 3 days in a row for the project ABC tournament. I look forward to work with you. So you write something like that. Learn to write something like that. Because what I'm trying to do here, Cammy, is to create evidence. Evidence of an agreement. Okay. One thing about contract, Cammy, and you as a lawyer will understand this. You don't need to be in a full-blown written contract. Contract can be by conduct. Contract can be inferred by a combination of evidence. So if the parties agree on WhatsApp or Telegram, then make sure that you write one particular text message to say, thank you, I confirm my agreement with you. And then, these kind of things I don't recommend. I always tell people, please don't Google. Google is not lawyer. But for this situation, maybe you can do a quick Google how to confirm contract WhatsApp. Then you can cut and paste and send. So I understand, Cammy. Not everybody. I repeat what I said earlier. Not everybody want to look for a lawyer. Everyone complain, oh, your lawyer whole choir very expensive. I understand that feeling. So there are these ways, this tactic to do this. And then so that in future, if the company X renegade, pay late give you late payment, you have this agreement. And at least you can use this as a basis to pursue a claim. Of course, I hope you don't have to go to court, but there are small claims court where you can do your own self, you can claim yourself, and the court will help you. If you have such an evidence, the court will help you.
Yeah, it's important to have that evidence.
Yeah. Of course, to be fair, Cammy, once you go to court, I'm very mafan. And we try to avoid going to court. But this is the worst case scenario. Personally, even though I do litigation, I don't always recommend litigation. It's the last thing to go. I try to resolve outside court. But when you have such a writing, you can send back to the company and say, hey, bro, come on lah. We agreed lah. It's here. Please. Then hoping to pressure the other fellow to settle. So, go on.
When you talk about settling it before you go for litigation, like what kind of settling is that? Like, meaning to say, do you need to threaten them first, or what if it doesn't work? What if just talking to that person one-on-one, they still don't pay, you know? They keep telling you, it's not that they don't want to pay, you know, because the moment they say they don't want to pay, then, you know, it's obvious that there's a problem. But let's say they keep delaying. They say, oh, in 2 weeks, it doesn't come. In 1 week, it doesn't come. You know, it delays for like 5 times. Then how would you settle that?
Well, again, I love your questions. See, now you know why I have you here. Very practical questions. Yeah, you know why, Cam? Because you've been there. That was why I invited you. Can you come on board? Because you seen the situation. I'm sure you also kena before. Some idiots don't pay you money, so you probably get frustrated.
Story. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, anyway, for lawyers, I just a shout out. I saw Brian Boo appearing. Hi, Brian. Brian is of course my my former lawyer. He's a real esports lawyer, fantastic guy. I still hope that one day he and I will work together again in the same firm. But for now, we'll work together in separate firms. So welcome aboard, Brian. Now, on this point, Cammy, when it comes to avoiding matters from going to litigation, yes, we threaten them by maybe sending them letter of demand, then try to negotiate. We said long letter of demand, and the letter from a lawyer's letter means you are one step away from going to court. And
that
usually,
has to come from a lawyer, right?
That would be the best. I wouldn't say it has to come, but that would be ideal, you know. It would be more what do you call this, impactful. Hey, hi, I saw Tash. Hi, Tash Bunny. Sorry, Tash, we're supposed to go on Twitch, but for some reason I cannot go there. My StreamYard cannot connect, so we came to the next best place. Here, thank you, Tash, for joining us. For the record,
hi, Tash.
Yeah, I want to shout out because it was Tash who very nicely helped us to do our whole Twitch setup. So thank you so much with the outlay and all that. Oh, apparently Tash said we are on Twitch. I don't know. Well, anyway, we'll need to stick to this first. We cannot go back to Twitch already. Yeah. So back to your question, Cammy, is that first we send letter of demand, ideally from a lawyer. Then once they reply, usually they will reply when they get a letter of demand from a lawyer. It's quite serious already. So our 10 cases, 7 or 8 will reply. Then that's where we will tell our client, hey, you know, maybe you can negotiate settlement. So we will usually try to open negotiation and maybe compromise on a certain figure and settle. So sometimes give and take, settle, don't go to court, that's the end. You know? And for the record, Cammy, this comment I give is actually not really great for lawyers because if we don't go to court, we cannot bill. So it's actually not good for my business. But to me, I don't look at my business. I look at my client. If my client can benefit and count him and close, I earn some fees and I move on. My client's happy. The opponent is happy. We are happy. We can go back, move on in the case.
True.
Yeah. So that's how we do pre-trial or pre-litigation settlement. And personally, I've seen it happening many times over my last how many years as practice lah. I don't want to mention how many years old man, but yeah, it's a more ideal situation. Having said that, if the other party is stubborn and don't want to settle, then no choice.
No choice lah. Yeah, no choice. Yeah. Then would you that whole thing that you just described, like the letter of demand from a lawyer and all that, would you, let's say the amount in dispute or that amount that is not being paid is 500, you know, it's not a huge sum, but it's still quite a lot for a freelancer because they need that money to survive, you know, to pay bills and to be able to go for their next project. So would it still apply?
That's the thing. You're again very practical there. I'm sorry for repeating, but it's just that your questions are genuinely very practical. Very practical questions here. I consider, Cammy, when someone got a claim for 500 ringgit, very susah to go to court. You know, I really kesian such a person like alamak, you know, the fellow owe you 500. How do you go to court for 500? I think the cost of you going to court also you lost the money. So but in theory, you can still go to the small claims court. Let's talk theory first. In theory, you can go there. You don't have to pay any lawyer. You can do yourself. And the judge handling the small claims court is always very consumer friendly. They always try to take care of the litigant. And they're also very helpful to the litigant. So I give you an example now. One of my good friend, he is pursuing a small claims court. He wanted to do it himself. He's not a lawyer. He wants to do it himself. So he gave me a call. I gave him a guide. He said, "Bro, never mind. I do myself." So he drives to court, meet the judge. The judge explained to him, "Mister, you do this. So the judge is very helpful. Yeah, very helpful to them. And his claim is below 5,000 ringgit. Now, that's in theory. But in reality, I think for 500 ringgit or even up to 1,500 or 2,000 ringgit, I think the only way to pressure is through constant nagging, hounding. Yeah, that would be a more, I would say, commercially effective way, but not a legal way, you know. And then some people, because you pressure lah, keep on pressuring, you know. And also, of course, it means never ever deal with this person ever again after that.
That's so hard lah. This, you know, our circle is so small in Malaysia.
Yeah. You totally understand that.
Just have to nag lah.
Yeah, you have to nag them, and then I mean, on my part, I can say safely, Cammy, that there are lawyers who step in and help out people who are not paid. You know, even we can speak to Brian and me whenever we can. We try on pro bono, because not everything is about money lah. Okay, we also want to help people, but there's only so much a lawyer can do lah.
Your time is limited as well.
Yeah, so of course you can go to the Legal Aid Center. I think one of the questions you text me about the legal. Yeah, so the Bar Council, they have a Legal Aid Center. Okay, let's talk about that now. Okay, so the Bar Council is actually. Oh, I like what Tash said. When you nag, they don't want to work with you anymore. That is true, Tash. Never mind, Tash. You look for me. I'll nag them for you. For you, it's pro bono. Yeah, you know, I am. Be warned, everybody out there. I am Natasha's lawyer. Pro bono. Yeah, don't mess around with Natasha. Huh? Okay. Now, but the Bar Council, of course, they control the lawyers in Peninsular Malaysia. In Malaysia, there are 3 bars. One is Sabah, one is Sarawak, and we have our bar in Malaya. Yes. And I remember, Cammy, you are from Sabah, right?
Yes.
So Sabah, we have their own bar. Now, so Malaya, we have the Bar Council. Then they created a Legal Aid Center. You can go there for claims and ask them for help. And the claim will be, the lawyers will help you. And usually for claims below 5,000 to 10,000 ringgit, there will be some lawyers who help you for free.
Oh.
For free, yeah. So I remember you texted me and asked me about the case recently about the Legal Aid Center take money and whatever, right? Now, just for the record, Cammy, that case, there was a misunderstanding of facts. We are not sure what really happened there, because that client in the case actually won her case. That means she already obtained her money. This is just cost, separate cost. So the cost always goes to Legal Aid Center to cover the cost, the photocopying, the driving to court. So I don't really know what happened there, so we can't comment. But it's not accurate to say the Legal Aid took every money. No, the Legal Aid took cost. The client actually sudah menang the duit damages, but we don't know the facts. Not fair to comment because we don't know the facts. Huh? Okay. Yeah. So you can go to Legal Aid Center, and the Legal Aid should be able to help you. If you can't, you can look around for lawyers around the esports. There are many lawyers who are hovering around esports. I'm sure some are willing to assist you. Not all lawyers are money-minded. You know.
That's true.
Yeah. So in that case, yes, you can do that. You can do that. You get legal help or get some lawyer who don't mind doing pro bono for you.
One question: are lawyers required to do pro bono? Must they do it?
For Peninsular Malaysia, our Bar Council in Peninsular Malaysia, we actually have a resolution of the bar. We passed the resolution of the bar, I think about 20 over years ago, even before I started my career. And in the resolution, it is stated that all Malaya lawyers in Sabah, in Peninsular Malaya, shall carry out legal aid work. So legal aid work is different from pro bono, Cammy. Legal aid means you go to bar council, go to the legal aid center. There are some cases you take the file and go and help the person. So for example, like you, Cammy, once you finish your bar exam, you start chambering, you have to do legal aid. It is a requirement as a chambering student. So, but pro bono on the other hand can be anything. It can, even if you're doing a 10 billion ringgit case, and the lawyer wants to be a benevolent and give pro bono. I don't know why, but technically the lawyer can do it pro bono. I think the lawyer a bit stupid lah, but you know, if he wants to, yeah. But the point is that is pro bono. So like, for example, RWC, we actually have a pro bono division. So we do every year, whatever work we can help, we help pro bono. We don't go to legal aid. And I'm not the only law firm. Many law firms are like this. So this is not a plug to sell my firm. I'm telling you, there are many law firms out there who are prepared to help pro bono. So that's pro bono. Law firm kasi. Legal aid, bar counsel, lawyer go there, volunteer and help.
So pro bono is not mandatory per se. It's more of, you know, the law firm wanting to do it themselves.
Correct. But of course, Cammy, if the lawyer, a law firm, take up the legal aid work and do, that is pro bono.
That is also pro bono.
So in some sense, lawyers are legally bound to do pro bono work, but using the conduit of legal aid center. Tapi kalau lu sendiri mau buat pun boleh.
Pun boleh. It's a good thing. Why not, right?
Yeah, correct. Oh, we got a question here. I see. Wait, hang on. Hi, Jonathan. Jonathan is a friend of mine. In the absence of a written contract, should we also include the payment deadline in our reply email to prevent delayed payment? Yep, you should, Jonathan. I mean, if the transaction is based on the exchange of WhatsApp or email, then I think the esports players and the streamers and the talents, they should just put down there, please pay within 14 days. You know, but be reasonable lah. Be reasonable. Okay. Good question, Jonathan. So yeah, Cammy, back to you. Anything else you want to ask me?
Thinking about streamers and cosplayers in Malaysia, not exactly esport, but like it's relevant as well because we do have cosplayers working for esports events. In that sense, cosplaying is part of esports as part of the event. I'm thinking I can't recall any issues that I might have come across lah, like concerning this.
I think streamers, what I noticed, Cammy, there are issues about intellectual property. That's one. The bigger streamers, their Twitch outlay, they can advertise. You know, so there's issue of can you do that? And of course, you simply take someone's game or talk and then you stream. Can or not? That's one issue. So there's a data issue of intellectual property. Of course, if the other fella stream open to the world, then that fella cannot complain lah. If you take the fella streamer and stream on your Twitch, you know. So like for example, RWC Twitch, it's open to the whole world. So someone then restream my talk, I can't complain lah. You know what I mean?
Oh, is it even though it's your talk, like you can't complain?
Yeah, you see the way Twitch work, and you look at the terms and conditions for Twitch, you can actually block people from restreaming. And so the issue of restreaming is still not fully litigated. We don't know how far can you restream. Of course, for example, Cammy, who the hell want to restream Richard V punya talk? But if I'm streaming an English Premier League game on Twitch, or I'm streaming the top international Dota 2 tournament going on now, and actually I broke the code and stream on my Twitch. How? So these are issues which borders between illegality and perhaps a breach of the rules of streaming. Then also another area of streaming is toxicness in streaming. Clement and I had a topic on this last week. Clement toxic is a dangerous thing because it's very toxic. You keep on screaming and shouting people, body shaming, and then racism. And then let's say if it's a guy and the guy say I'm homosexual and that's it, the person get attacked for being homosexual. It's very toxic. So that's a criminal matter. Where it can actually attract criminal matters, and also the multimedia commission in Cyberjaya can also block you or can even arrest you if you go overboard. So those are notice rights in streamers lah. And then of course those streamers who make money, they will always have contractual issues to discuss. And I have dealt with some streamers who have challenges on their contract, so we try to advise them on their contract. So that's why I notice on streamers. And we just on standby lah, because we understand the industry. Can we try to help wherever we can?
That's true. These are, but in your experience, right? Are these just theory? Is it actually practical for streamers to, let's say, lodge a police report? Will there actually be action taken? Will MCMC actually protect them?
Yeah, that's another practical question. I think to be fair to the MCMC lah, Cammy, they are inundated. Gila babi lah. There are so many things to go through them. It's sometimes I kesian them. I look at the way that they have to deal with all these challenges and fights. So they are inundated with overwhelming cases. But to say that they sit down and don't do anything, also wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
Them activating and triggering before. For example, I know it's a hilarious example, but look at the sugar baby.
Yes.
So fast they block, So it is possible if you lodge a complaint, and I've seen them doing it. Number one, and number two, policemen. So no MCMC police they do. They again subject to, because they also so many cases. They look at the seriousness of the case. And,
that's true.
They have occasions. For example, people who make comments against the Agong, or people who make horrible racist comment on Facebook, they will check on you. So I don't see a problem why they can't do that on Twitch. So these are issues which we can refer to as example lah. There's a question here. Go on.
Would it be correct to say that if the comment is not just an insult, let's say the comment has is a threat, a threat that I'll come to your house to find you, or something like I'll hurt you, do you think the police will take it more seriously?
Yeah, it's possible. When you, of course, Cammy, first things first, as you know, whatever you and I comment here, we cannot give 100% answer lah. Just before everybody thinks that Cammy and I are like the Wikipedia. We are not. Yeah. So whatever we say here is really just a guide, some way of to give you. What I am trying to do is to empower the listener, so that after you listen to this, you go back and listen to them. Yeah, actually, this is how I'm going to fight my case. Then empowering you with knowledge. Now, to answer your question, if some idiot comment like that to you, that is a threat. And clearly it will trigger the penal code. And you can be charged. If the police can find you, they can charge you. But whether they find you or not is another matter. But if you want to report, show your screenshot and all that, don't be surprised if cyber police may hunt that person down. It can happen. Okay, there's a question here from Hafiz. Soalan Hafiz, sekarang banyak kes tentang esports player with dorang punya esports team sponsor. Contohnya macam kes esports organisation yang tak bayar gaji. Ya, ini problem yang selalulah. Sokmo. Player yang cuba tipu sponsor. Macam mana kita pastikan benda-benda ini macam ni tak berlaku lagi? So, don't worry, you can write in English or Malay, Azmi. Thanks for posing the question, Hafiz Azmi. So, if you don't mind, Hafiz, I answer in English. This kind of situation actually, the problem, Hafiz, is this. There is only so much a legal contract can do. You can write as much as you can, and that contract, of course, is meant to protect you if something goes wrong. And it becomes evidence of the relationship between the two parties. Jadi dalam bahasa Malaysia, kontrak tu, kau terma dalam kontrak tu memang untuk menjalinkan perhubungan antara kedua-dua pihak. Ia memberikan gambaran bagaimanakah kita akan mentadbirkan kontrak pentadbiran antara dua pihak ni. So itu adalah faktor utama dan kita boleh katakan ciri utama kontrak-kontrak tersebut. Tapi malangnya kontrak macam ni yang paling max pun kita boleh bantu sebagai bukti kewujudan kontrak. Jikalau pihak yang sebelah tu memang degil, memang I cannot use the dirty word lah because you are live here, memang teruk punya orang di sana. But if the person is evil, they will still cheat us. That's the problem. So that is why it is important to work with reputable esports companies. Saya di sini bukan mengatakan bahawa kita selalu kena jumpa orang yang power, yang dah experience. Tapi lazimnya orang yang dah banyak kali dah buat tournament dan dah membuktikan kemampuan mereka, syarikat tersebutlah yang kita boleh percaya lebih lagi. Itu pun kadang-kadang masih ada masalah. So to answer the question, Hafiz, I would say that when you draft a contract, of course, you draft as much as you can. You protect as much as you can. In English, we say we prescribe the best possible contractual solution. So you draft as well as you can. So it's a prescription. Tapi at the end of the day, it's the two characters. So I bagi contoh. For example, Undang-Undang Malaysia kata tak boleh jual dadah. Kalau jual dadah, kena tangkap, kena gantung. Tapi tiap-tiap hari ada lagi kes dadah. So even though the law say cannot, there are some idiots who still do it. So that's the problem with this esports issue. There are some heroes out there who are renegade. And I suppose the solution, Hafiz, is not really contract, it is actually the atmosphere. It is the culture that must change. It is the circumstances. So contohnya, we should have, for example, persatuan esports business. So then the persatuan can go and fight for you. And I think Cammy heard me this before. I said we should have a cosplayer association. We should have a caster association. Now we have MESPA, which is a Malaysian Esports Players Association. It's a bit quiet now because the players, the office bearers are all over the world. They can't come back because of COVID. But MESPA is meant to protect esports players. So maybe, Hafiz, all of you should consider starting an esports, like an esports association for businesses, then to protect the small business, the SME, right? In fact, maybe you don't even need to start an association. You can start a group, a coalition, for example, kumpulan perniagaan. Just start a group, maybe 10 of you. So when you negotiate as a group. That may be stronger. But so the key in my view is not just contract. Contract is important. Mesti memperkasakan dan memperkuatkan kontrak itu. Tapi saya, pada hemat saya lah, the iklim, the situation, the condition of the entire esports ecosystem must also improve. We must kick out toxic people who are constant con men? I hope I answered Hafiz's question. A very good question, Hafiz. Thank you so much for the. You want to comment something, Cammy, on this question?
No, it's just that I feel it's very important for the little people to work together, because you are stronger when you're together, you know? If no one's going to take that initiative and you're not supporting each other, then when you face this kind of issues, you are alone. Then you don't have, like what you said, you don't have bargaining power. The company, if like what Tash Bani says, if you nag them, they won't hire you anymore. They can just hire other people, right? But if you are united and together as a group, you are saying, no, you know, this has to stop, then the organization has to listen, because if they don't hire you, there's no one really no one else for them to hire. They still need you. So they have to recognize that as an observer, as a host, you know, as a streamer, you are essential for the industry, but you have to work together. If you don't, then it'll be hard for you to fight your cases. Yeah.
Spot on. I agree. Yeah. If you can see, Cammy, even the normal sports, the traditional sports, they have their own group. The association of for event organizers, association for sports centers, you know, those who manage stadiums and halls, they do, and they are stronger together. So I think maybe esports must go towards that. And I said lah, like I said, kalau malas nak form a society, no problem. At least form a loose coalition, a loose group. Call yourself, you know, like kumpulan perniagaan kecil esports. Just start, you know.
Yeah,
just start first, you know. 10 of you start a Facebook group, start a Twitch group, chit chat, then slowly build. Then when you negotiate as a group, you know.
Yeah.
That would be better. And then very important to stay united. Very important.
Don't look at each other as competition lah, you know. Like, you are all fighting for the same jobs, but at the same time you also have the same problems. So, you know, come together and fix that.
Yeah.
Joshua has a question.
Yeah, Joshua. Okay, which one? This one, is it? Is it this one?
Yeah.
Okay, Joshua, thanks for asking. I hope this is the correct one. Can freelancer demand for contracts for jobs, and if terms of contract breach, meaning late payment, etc., can the employer be brought to court? Now, the problem with freelancers, Joshua, to be very, very frank with you, freelancers have very weak bargaining power. Unless the freelancer is a super duper talent. That means we really have no choice. We really need the freelancer. But most of the time, I notice most freelancers they're important. They have a special talent, but there are many other freelancers. So you're not the only one, and therefore that weakens your bargaining power.
Yeah.
And once that happens, it'll be challenging for you to say no. You know, I don't agree. But you need to learn to negotiate lah. You learn to hold your ground. At the same time, be reasonable, give and take, and maybe being a freelancer may not be the best. Maybe it will be better for you to form a company where 3 or 4 of you offer services as a company. So that will be better. So, for example, like say Cammy and I. Cammy is a cosplayer, I'm a caster, and then we have one more person who's a esports talent. Then one more fella who's a technical person. So 4 of us form a company. We call ourselves Striking Company. Strike. We call it Strike, you know. So we sell our services as Strike. So you pay us lah. And then as a company, we have stronger position to negotiate, you see. So sometimes that may help. May help, you know. Whether the employer can be brought to court for breach, yes. Subject to conditions of evidence and what really happened. I'm optimistic. Any person who breached a freelancer's contract may be taken to court, and the freelancer may even win. Subject to evidence, may win. Okay? Thanks for asking the question, Joshua. Comes here. Terima kasih. Hafiz put a comment there. Thanks, Hafiz. He put this one. sebabkan most of esports player adalah di kalangan remaja. Exactly what you said earlier, Cammy. Sebab itu ada beberapa organisasi yang cuba untuk menipu diorang. Contohnya tiada kontrak, hanya cakap mulut, bla bla bla. So Hafiz, memang betul kenyataan di sana. Baru tadi masa permulaan Legal Aid Clinic ini, Cammy tanya apa yang kita nak bantu, macam mana nak bantu player-player yang baru 14 tahun, 15 tahun. Jadi jawapan saya sebenarnya kita kena memperkasakan pengetahuan undang-undang dengan ibu bapa. So or the guardian of the boy or the girl, we need to empower them. Then with regards to kontrak cakap mulut, I would recommend walaupun kita bercakap dan akhirnya bersetuju melalui cakapan mulut, tapi saya betul-betul mempelabel kamu, sila hantar SMS atau WhatsApp atau Telegram dengan kenyataan yang panjang. Saya merujuk kepada perbualan kami pada 15 Januari di mana kamu telah bersetuju untuk mengambil saya sebagai cosplayer dengan gaji RM50. Sekian, terima kasih. Send that text. That becomes evidence. You create evidence. Boleh? Hafiz, saya harap kamu tidak ditipu lagi atau tidak ditipu, dan saya berterima kasih kerana kamu menimbulkan soalan ini supaya Cammy dengan saya boleh jawab. Thank you so much. If you need help, just give us a call. Okay. Oh, it's more than half an hour. Okay, thank you so much for everybody. I think we're going to slowly bring this to an end. Maybe Cammy, you want to ask one last question to wrap it up? Then we can close.
No, I don't have anything on my mind now. Yeah, not yet lah.
Not yet. Yeah. Well, anyway, I won't be disturbing you until next month already. I want you to focus on your exams.
After my exams, man.
Yeah, come back again, can help us on this. And in fact, I spoke to Flower before this, and Flower has agreed to come on board on a Legal Aid Clinic. So we'll do this. Nice. We will be inviting every now and then. We'll be inviting some esports talents and characters and well-known individuals like Flower come on board, where we can have a chit chat. And you see, people like you, Cammy, you know what's happening on the ground in esports. You know, I just happen to be esports lawyer, but we don't deal with talents, for example, cosplayers. So, but we do notice, we do focus, we can observe. But ask us lah, ask us anything, we try to help. You know, so maybe next week we may get, depending on Flower's time. I'm also getting Clement on board, and now that we saw Natasha, maybe we disturb Natasha to come on board, and so we do this kind of dialogue.
Yes, it'll be really good. Like people need to know, they need to be educated before the problem happens. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, and this is what this session is about. I hope other lawyers will also do this to help the community. Okay, so thank you everybody. Thank you Burhan for your nice word. Joshua, thank you. Hafiz, terima kasih. Brian and all that, thank you so much. Cammy, you want to say last thing before we tutup tirai?
No, just thank you guys for watching and asking your questions. Yeah.
Same here. Thank you for joining us. And those who are waiting for us in Twitch, I'm so sorry. After this thing, straight away I'm going to check on my Twitch. What is wrong? What happened to my Twitch? So, you know what, Cammy? We stream every day, Monday to Friday.
I know. So it's quite strange. Just I think it's a Discord, Twitch problem. I think it's a Twitch problem.
Yeah, maybe. So I will check because my office downstairs, there's another computer. We're using that to also check on Twitch. So maybe I'm worried we may click something there which block our. Okay. I also going to check lah. So anyway, thank you so much, Cammy. Good luck in your exam.
Thank you very much.
See you in court soon.
Okay. All right. Hope so.
Okay. So stay on, Cammy. Don't leave here. Everybody, goodbye. Take care. Adios.